I think we could now forward on to the next section, which is the panel discussion, and we will first see the videos from the grassroots level, so the entrepreneurs presenting their premises and their work and their background and their thoughts of the future, and then we have the entrepreneurs here on stage to discuss together. And in the first, we see a video from Ilomantsi, Willy Pohakam, and a video from Slovakia, and then we will have a talk with Tem. So the first video to go.
Hello, my name is Willy Pohakam. I am 24 years old, Finnish dairy farmer. Our farm is located in Finland, North Karelia. It's most eastern part of Finland. And my hometown is called Ilomantsi. And my farm is located on south side of a pretty big lake named Koitere. Main business of our farm is to produce milk. We have 60 milking cows and 1 milking robot. We produce now something like 600,000 kilos of milk. We have 100 hectares of field and maybe 150 hectares of forest. On fields we produce only grass to our cows. We don't have any grains. We buy all the grains to feeding from feed industry. And in forest we don't do lots of work on ourselves. We do only our farm works. I'm not doing all this alone. Me and my girlfriend, we take care of daily routines with cows, and I do the most of field work. We have family companies, so my father still works on the farm. Not every day, but sometimes. He does the most of paperwork, and he does all the fixing of machines and buildings when something breaks up. It's fun, but it's true that our farm is the most eastern automatic milking system farm in whole Europe. In future, I think that the farms will keep getting bigger. And when your farm gets bigger, it means you need to have skills of farm management and leading and stuff like that. At my own situation, because I'm dairy farmer, it would be nice to invest to another milking robot or something like that, double our production, to go to 1 robot to 2 or 3 robots. But because in Europe there's so much overproduction of milk, I'm not going to do that now, not in 5 years, I don't know, maybe 10 years. I don't know what's the situation on 2030. But the one thing I know is that farmers should produce something that people will buy. So it's stupid to produce something that people won't buy and then complain about bad prices or stuff like that. And because of milk overproduction, I need to focus on making the best possible profit with currently available production and all stuff I got. That's how I keep my business good for the future. So that was a little introduction about me and my farm and what I think about future. Thank you for listening.
So that was Ville from Ilomantsi, and we will still see the Martin's video from Slovakia before the discussion.
Hello, my name is Martin Zahumensky and I am a second generation dairy farmer from Slovakia. Our family-owned business is located in the southwestern Slovakia, close to the Hungarian border. At our dairy farm we milk 2,500 cows 3 times a day. Our annual production is more than 25 million liters of milk. The whole daily production is taken by 4 different milk plants. We produce yogurts and cheese out of our milk. We provide our cows with the best cow comfort available. We keep them in a well-ventilated barns. We provide them with a lot of fresh feed. They have a lot of fresh water. They have a lot of fresh bedding material in their beds, which are dried manure solids that we produce on our farm, so we can be very cost efficient. Other big challenge for our farm is workforce. So we try to make our farm attractive for young people. We work with a lot of high schools and universities, so we invite students to work with us and practice. Behind me you can see our newest investment, which is a 500 kilowatt biogas plant, which will produce 100% of the electricity for our farm. The biogas plant will be fed with the byproducts produced on our farm, which is the liquid slurry, manure solids, feed leftovers, and manure. Then the liquid digestate will be separated in a bedding material composter that will produce the bedding material for our cows. And then the digestate will be used like an organic fertilizer. Other activity that we do is agri-tourism. So welcome to our hotel and farm restaurant called Terra. It's located close to our farm, and it's also a horse farm where we breed horses, and we have a horse riding club. And in our game management area, which is a part of our agri-tourism activity, where we organize hunts for red deer and fallow deer for active hunters and bow hunters from all around Europe. And here we produce the wild game meat, which is then used in our restaurants, and then that we process for different products and we sell it on local markets. Our farm philosophy is a sustainable agriculture that will be friendly to our environment and that we can pass to the next generations to come. We as farmers strive for economical efficiency and work in a closed loop as much as possible to be self-reliant in our farming. I'm standing in front of the milking parlor, and this is the end of the video tour of our farm. I hope you enjoyed, and when you're around in Slovakia, you will be very welcome to visit us and enjoy the conference.
So wonderful videos from Ville and Martin, and you both are here online, as well as Francisco Pavao from Portugal. And unfortunately we didn't have video of Francisco yet this time, but maybe Francisco, you would like to introduce yourself on site, and then we could start a discussion together.
Hello. So one moment. I have a PowerPoint. If you want, I can present a PowerPoint.
Briefly, so 1 minute. Yes.
1 minute. So 1 minute
Yes.
is not so. But
Yeah, you can maybe tell literally who
Yes.
are you and what you are doing.
Give me 1 minute. I put the PowerPoint, the presentation. In 1 minute.
So you have different approach for the topic.
1 second only. Try to put this. Okay. So
at least we can see the front page. So maybe.
So
yeah.
This is a presentation. I'm a farmer, young farmer. We are in the same farm for more than 300 years, and our main crop is it's olive oil. We have 160 hectares of olive oil of olive orchards, and half of the farm is in organic farming now, and we only plant traditional varieties. So this is the photos of our orchards. Very old trees, also young trees. We have some difficulties. I'm also the president of a farmers association, one of the biggest farmers association of Trás-Montes region. Our farm is on the northeast of Portugal, and the main problems that we have in our farm is very hard to find man labor to work. It's a huge problem. Mostly on the harvest season, it's very hard to find it. And the other problem that we have in this region is in some parts of the farm it's very hard to find mobile phone connection and internet connection. So we live on a very small village with 200 persons there, and it's very hard to communicate because in some parts the Wi-Fi doesn't work, the internet doesn't work, the mobile phone doesn't work. We have a mill. We sell our olive oil as with this brand. We export to 20 different countries, and this is one of the biggest olive oil prize that we have. Every year we have a lot of prize in the several competition all around the world. This is my brother. This is a family farm. Me and my brother we work there, and most of our goal is to get out of the region because we sell for us we sell 70% of our production abroad. We start to sell organic olive oil 2 years ago, most of them to the north of Europe, but we export to different countries and to different continents. Our biggest buyers are Brazil, where we go often, making promotion training. But it's not so easy. It's not so easy to promote a product, and we have some difficulties because it's very hard to find other producers that goes with us and promote the different olive oils from the same region. We sell all our production as PDO from Trás-Montes olive oil, but it's a lot of costs that we have to sell, and we produce 60,000 bottles, so we are not a huge producer. We are a very small producer, but our goal is to sustainably. We make compost with all the rest of the olive orchards, with the rest of the meal, and we put the compost also in the fields. And our goal is to make sustainable farming, and try to start to promote Agri-Tourism. So tourism about olive oil. In Portugal, we are starting to do that, to invite persons to come to our farm to see what we do and to participate in everything that we do on this farm. If you have some questions.
Yeah, excited, and you're totally on the other edge. Also, the other examples, at least Liepala, Ilomantsi is the easternmost part, and Slovakia is totally different environment. You are on the edge, the west edge of the Europe. So which kind of thoughts you have of the videos you saw?
In terms of only in terms of associations in our association, the median age is 65 years, so it's very hard to find young people in this region, and it's very hard to find persons that want to work on farming. It's a huge problem to the future. We have to have a man labor to work, but it's very hard to find it. Not only on the olives, but on the vineyards, on the almonds, on the chestnuts. It's very hard to find man labor to work. It's a huge problem to the future.
Thank you. What kind of thoughts you have, Ville? You have seen now Martin's video and also heard about Francisco's story about his farm. Which kind of thoughts you have of those videos? You are muted, Ville.
Do you
hear me now? Perfect. Yes.
Okay. So Francisco's video and his business is, I'm not, I don't know so much about it, so it all was new for me. So I don't have too much to say about that, but I think you have the problems you told. I think those to find people who comes to work on farms and things like that. It's a really common problem in, I don't know, maybe in all countries of Europe. And from the Martin's video, it was nice to see a farm like that. And I think Martin's business was really versatile. So you have many different kind of activities in your farm, and I don't know, I'm interested about how it works, and do you have, how many workers do you have in your farm, and do you have problems like Francisco told about it's hard to get good people to work on your farm?
So Martin, you may answer to Ville's question and comment on his video and also Francisco's.
Yes, of course. I would say that the lack of workforce, that's the common problem for all the farmers, not just in Europe, but all around the world. And the millennials, they don't want to work in agriculture, and it's still more and more difficult to find people that find agriculture like an attractive sector. So I really like the idea of Francisco, what he wants to do, that he wants to open his farm for the public to show how they do the farming, and that how they produce very safe and organic product that's a product of like a sustainable agriculture. And about the Ville's video, I'm very happy to see a young peer dairy farmer, same as me, from a different part of Europe, that sees his future in the dairy business. I think the Ville's farm, in the way he do, it's very sustainable, because it's a small family dairy farm, and with a minimum amount of employees, and as such small farms, they have to take an advantage of all the inventions of a modern farm technologies. And as we could see that Ville is using a milking robot, and he's using robotic feeding, so that he doesn't need to do it physically, so he can take care of other farm jobs, so he doesn't need to pay anybody else to do that work. And this way his farm can be very prosperous, said in a sustainable, in a long term. And to answer the question about the workforce in my farm, so in total, in all our activities, we have more than 250 people working for our company. But for a farm itself, in a dairy farm, we have 30 employees in total.
Hello everyone. Now I jump into the discussion as well. I'm co-hosting the panel together with Helena. I'm Juha-Matti Markkula, coming from Finnish Rural Network support unit. And first, I have to compliment all of these examples. I find them really interesting. Different parts of Europe, from Portugal through Slovakia to Eastern Finland. Now, you heard about Mr. Kai Heikkilä's excellent presentation about the Rural Vision 2040. And in this picture, he showed this picture about the main drivers of shaping the future. And I have a question concerning the prosperous section. So under that, you can see there is a diversification of economic activities and sustainable food production. So how do you find those issues compared to your firms, your farms? What kind of opportunities and challenges you find making more prosperous future? But is it about diversification? Is it about sustainable food production, or is it something else? So thought about that, and perhaps we can start from Ville. So go ahead. So you have a forestry and agriculture at the moment. Will that be in the future to 2040 as well? You said that you have to produce what people want to buy and eat.
Yes, I will answer for the good question first. So this section, diversification of economic activities, I don't see that I need to focus on this producing milk. So this versatile, I don't think that it's the way for me, because there's lots of economic challenges in farms. So the best way to go through the economic challenges is to focus on one thing and make the best out of it. So that's how I see this first thing. And the sustainable food production, I think every farmer is a sustainable food producing, because how market works, it's the people who goes to stores and buy food. Most of them want to know about their food, and they want sustainable food and good food. So the farms need to be sustainable, and they need to do their work sustainable, that people will buy their product. That's how I would answer that. And so in long term, I don't know, because I'm in I'm not in crossroads already, but in future it's about I should get bigger, because there's some things like in Martin's farm, there's a biogas, and I think better the process and some technologies are only available in bigger farms. So if I don't kind of get bigger or find some cooperation partners, it's hard to keep going on this business because of the and that's the economic sides, because you cannot make product as cheap as people wants to buy, as Pekka or Kai did say that people wants to buy cheap food. So if we want to produce cheap food, we need to find the best and the cheapest ways to produce it. And that's when the economies of size come to our daily life.
And hopefully, of course, the sustainable food production, so people will appreciate it that as much, the customers will appreciate it that so much that they will also pay more about their food. Thanks, Ville. So that scaling was your answer, and good management for the future. So then we move from Finland to Martin. So actually, you have already rather diversified activities in your farm. So is that your future as well, or shall you concentrate on something? And when you are looking for 2040, so what will be your activities under the prosperous sector in this picture? Go ahead, Martin.
I just would like to say that I 100% agree with Ville that small farms have to work in cooperations and probably work more locally than bigger farms, because bigger farms, they can produce for higher wider range of customers for supermarkets and so on. So for a bigger market, and that I agree also that prosperity is very important for rural businesses. For the dairy sector, the dairy market is very volatile, not just in Europe, but in a global scale. And this volatility will show up more often than what European farmers were used to, and producers all around Europe have to prepare for it. So in our situation, we believe in economics of scale, that in the long term, we want to increase our production. We want to double the size of our farm. So in total, we would like to milk 5,000 cows. So we can pollute our cost of production and stay competitive on European level, not just on a national level. And also the diversification of our economic activities, that those help to mitigate the impact of low milk prices that we can see today. But besides that, these economic activities are very related to each other with the goal to save cost in general in our company. And the pandemic, the COVID situation, brought to global business another challenges that impacted almost all sectors of economy, not just the milk. But the milk market is not an exception, and it indirectly caused tough situation for milk producers in Europe. And the cost of inputs are skyrocketing today due to energy cost increase, crisis in logistics, feed cost, etc., etc. But the milk market and prices for milk products are not driven by these factors. So there is too much milk on the market, actually, and this situation only intensifies and underlines the fact that businesses have to be cost efficient and sustainable.
Thank you, Martin. So you both gentlemen, you agree with each other quite a lot with Martin and Ville. Then we move to Portugal, and Francisco, how do you see your future under the prosperous section? So you were concentrated on olive production, olive oil, and high quality olive oil. And when you are looking for the future 2040, so will you farm still producing only olive oil, or will there be other activities as well?
No, now we are planting 40 hectares of almond trees, so we are trying to get another crop. But in our region, it's very hard to produce another thing than olive and almonds, because it's 90% of the region is non-irrigation, so it's very hard to produce without water. And in my region, the rain is 300 to 400 millimeters a year. It's very low, but we can produce quality. I think the planting other crops like almonds and try to get other services like tourism, and try to promote the ecosystem of the farm and of the region. I think it's one of the ways to get to the future. Another thing is to make partnership with other producers, try to create a program of young producers, or of PDO producers, of organic producers in the region, that it's possible to communicate the difference with the same quality. I think the goal is to get other producers to that kind of thinking, and to promote together. And after, we have to communicate more with the consumers. We are speaking about olive oil. In Portugal, the consumer of olive oil is 8 liters per capita, so it's not so high like in Greece, like in Spain. This is almost the double, but we have to communicate that. We have to communicate to the consumers and try to bring them to our region to understand why our products are different from the intensive crops, and what we do on the farm is a way to communicate, to sell more and to promote more. I think the goal is have another culture in our farm is almonds that we are starting to plant this year in organic, but getting the tourism, the agro-tourism, and communicate and make partnerships with the other producers to get more scale.
Thank you, Francisco. And thank you. So Helena, how shall we hop to the next section?
Maybe just briefly, thank you very much of the interesting comments, and there would be a lot of talk of all of the sections, but maybe here in the end, before the next set of entrepreneurs, in 1 or 2 sentences, what would be your message to the peer entrepreneurs or at least for policymakers, how to reach the desired future? What would be the top thing for you to reach the prosperous, connected, stronger and resilient future 2040? Just one sentence.
In one sentence, yes.
Yes.
Shall
Ville should start.
Okay, in one sentence. The thing is that when you are making politics and do that stuff, I will take this carbon and things that are going around that. I don't know how to say that. It's hard to be a farmer because we know that we are kind of the only ones who can take the carbon, and same time the politics and everyone, people in the cities are kind of making us the bad ones. So this is the thing in future. There should not be so much is it confronting or something between cities and farms. We should be more together and we should do same things for the future. It wasn't one sentence, it was a little longer, but something like that.
What about Martin?
Yeah, maybe I'm a little bit worried about the drive for extensive production in European Union. So maybe if we talk about the carbon footprint and to be net zero in 2040, maybe in 2050, we will need to support the high intensive farming. So that would be what I would like to see in the future, because we see a much higher concentration of the production globally.
What about Francisco?
It's very hard to do in one sentence, but I think the best thing is to risk. We have to risk all day in our farm, training, communicate, not only with the farmers, but mostly with the consumers. And the main goal is that we are a part of Europe. We want to be a part of Europe and try to communicate that the products that we produce on our farms are products with a lot of love, with a lot of sustainability and respect for the environment. It's our goal to communicate that.
Thank you all, and then next see a few more videos and take other guys to the floor, Joe, Alfred and Janne. So Salla, please share the next video.
Hello and welcome. My name is Alfred Grant. I am an organic farmer and entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, we are producing organic fertilizer with the help of earthworms. As a farmer, together with my family and a young motivated team, we have a research and demonstration farm. We are based in Absdorf in Austria, in the heart of Europe. Our main topics on the farm are soil health, which is the foundation for every farmer. Agroforestry, which is bringing back trees and bushes on arable land. And market gardening. Market gardening is really a very special system. It's traditional, but yet extremely innovative. It produces high quality organic vegetables, fruits and herbs on small land, not so much with technology, but more with people. It is the best example for a systemic approach to the societal challenges that we are facing today. It has the potential to mitigate climate change, to adapt to climate change, it regenerates your soil, and it produces healthy food at the same time. It creates jobs for young people in rural areas and has a high value to the local economy. We are doing research together with national and international research institutes on market gardening, because we think this is the way to go. Our vision is to establish a market garden in every larger village within Europe till 2035.
The next one is Janne from Lapland.
I am Janne Mustonen and this is my reindeer dog Aira, and we are both from Finnish Lapland. I am a reindeer herder, stock owner of a reindeer meat processing company and a planner in a project that is executed by the Lapland University of Applied Science and aims at increasing the product value of reindeer hides for the producers. My reindeer livestock is semi-domesticated. That means that reindeer herding follows, unlike industrial farming, the natural cycle of the seasons. Reindeer calves are born in late May, early June, and they are roaming free during summertime. The slaughtering season starts in autumn and lasts until winter. Due to the land use pressure that affects the quality of the forests, we have to feed our reindeer during wintertime. I keep my reindeer from December until late April in an enclosure. Reindeer herding emerged in the Northern Hemisphere as a common and culturally important livelihood between the 12th and the 1600 centuries. The whole reindeer livestock in Lapland accounts for 190,000 animals that are owned by 4,400 people. For 1,000 reindeer owners, it's a full-time employment. For the others, keeping reindeer provides a vital side income and represents a culturally important practice. In addition, reindeer herding adds value to many other industries in Lapland, such as tourism. Reindeer husbandry is the most sustainable way of producing food in the far north. All the components of the reindeer are used, and reindeer economy is highly dynamic and constantly diversifying. EU-funded projects and research and education institutions are important facilitators of these economic diversification processes. Regarding the vision for the future, reindeer herding can exist only if there are continuous pastures and grazing grounds. That requires an ecologically healthy environment characterized by the biodiversity instead of industrial forests and monocultures. If the Rural Vision 2040 and especially its resilience element receives strong policy support, reindeer herding will have a chance to persist in the future. It is vital for us that climate change is kept in check and ecological preservation is gaining greater priority. Given the cultural importance of reindeer herding, young people will be interested in this profession if they can see that there is a future ahead. This in turn helps to strengthen rural communities and adds.
the links for the videos will also come to the chat box. They were going to the wrong place now, but you may check them afterwards. So one more video from Joe.
Ja, faktycznie. To je dobro, ale dobro. To půjde. Ano, se dá ne. A? Umo. Dobré.
My name is Joe Melody. I'm farming in partnership with my father, JJ, here in Bunratty, County Clare. We're farming on 2 blocks, our home farm, which is just over 115 acres. That's home to the dairy herd of just over 160 cows. And the outside block near Bunratty is 260 acres that acts as a support block for the home farm, where our heifers are reared, silage is produced, and our pedigree Charolais, Limousin, Hereford and Angus herd are at home. In the past year, my brother Frank came home to work remotely and set up Melody Farm Eggs, which comprised of 400 pasture-raised hens, where eggs are produced for the local market. We've decided in the past few months that we're going to expand that business, and I've went into partnership with Frank, and we're expanding this year to over 1,600 pasture-raised hens, mainly on our outside farm in Bunratty. So the farm of the future is going to look quite different to where we're at now. And I believe my own farm in the future, a lot of things will have changed. I believe technology will have played a much larger role than it is playing today in the future. And I believe the growth in technology on farms will be exponential. I believe there'll be a lot of the manual tasks taken out of farming. I would hope that farmers can move to more of a management level and they're using the data that they're getting from their technology to make higher quality decisions, because that's key. We're getting loads of data now, but the key is going forward is to make high quality decisions with that data and be able to do it at a high quality level each time. So I think going forward here, the growth in our farm will probably come from increased productivity from the cows we have. I'd hope that Melody Farm Eggs will have grown into the future and we'll have been able to satisfy the demand from customers looking for high quality, ethically raised produce. I think if we can attract the right young people into this industry, maybe from non-farming backgrounds, I think that's definitely the future. We're going to have a prosperous industry going forward. The demographics are in our favour, the science is in our favour, and the technology will be in our favour. So going forward, I can see this farm expanding in terms of its production from what we have, and that will be key for a lot of farmers. So the farm of the future, prosperity, is the one word I foresee for farmers. Going forward towards 2040, we have challenges, and one of the key ones at the moment that we're hearing a lot about is climate change. We have our part to play in agriculture, and there's a lot of technologies that are going to help climate mitigation. We can't get away from the fact that we have to do what generations before us have done, and we have a social responsibility to farm with nature and have that integral to our approach to farming. If we can do that, we'll have done no harm and we'll have also done a lot of good.
Wonderful videos indeed. Maybe we could start with you, Joe. How would you like to comment the videos of the peers? Which kind of thoughts you got of Alfred's and Janne's videos?
Yeah, well, I suppose start with Alfred's video. It was very fascinating in that he was getting so much production from a certain area of land, and probably that's feeding into the future farm, where I'd like to see more people going down the road of direct to market produce and high quality produce. And just the appearance of the farm, even to look at it, was so beautiful. Like in Ireland, it's mainly all grass-based dairy farming, so we wouldn't have that patchwork of lovely veg. But my grandfather had a market garden farm, so I have a bit of an emotive connection with what I was doing. Then on Jan, it was fascinating. We all know about Santa Claus in Lapland, in Ireland, and we always hear of the reindeer and going to the North Pole. So I think to see a business made it with reindeer, it was just fascinating to see it and how he's working with the strengths of that part of Europe and working with the seasons and working with, I suppose, a seasonally appropriate system of production. It was fascinating. And definitely its blueprint for an indigenous industry in that area of Europe, because every area needs to have someone that we can look up to. We have a phrase we use: if you can't see it, you can't be it. So Jan is definitely doing great in that aspect. So yeah.
Thank you, Joe. What about Alfred?
Yeah, well, like the market garden side of it was brilliant. Like, it was beautiful. And
yeah, thank you. So next, maybe Alfred, you would like to comment Wille's and Joe's videos.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, everyone from Austria. I'm very happy that I can join you. Thank you for presenting the videos, and it was really interesting to see the last two videos from Martin and Joe from Lapland and from Ireland was already, they had quite a different perspective to the first two videos where the guys had more concern about the economy. And now we see videos where they see more perspectives, more different things. They think about climate change, they think about diversification, they think about natural production. So I'm very happy to see both videos and the approaches about the diversification and growing different things and producing different things, direct sales, things like that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Alfred. What about Janne? You have totally different kind of business from the others. Which kind of thoughts do you see, similarities or differences?
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, just how would you like to comment Alfred's and Joe's videos? You have a little bit different background. Reindeer business is totally something else than market gardening or milky cows in Ireland. So what kind of thoughts you have?
Yeah, reindeer business is then totally different, but then like I especially did like the Alfred's video. It's organic farming is then close to my heart, and then like keeping the soil good, and then especially this having this market gardening. It's a really good idea. Using then people, not so much machines and not so much space, and then especially the future that then it would be then every village. I like it really, really much. And then for the Joe's video, it's I also did like it that there's like cows and then also some other animals, and then I did also like that.
Thank you. I will again share the screen, and Juha-Matti will address the next question.
Thanks, Helena, and thanks, Alfred, Janne, and Joe. Again, very, very interesting examples. And when we look this picture about the drivers of the shaping the future, I would like to know the sector of resiliency concerning your businesses. You talk about a lot of climate change issues and also the social resiliency. So question to you. So what kind of possibilities or challenges you see when talking about the resilient to climate change, environmental resilience and social resilience? Do you see it opportunity or a threat? And when you are looking for the future till 2040, and perhaps we can start with Alfred. So go ahead, Alfred. Thoughts about these resilience issues?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I think it's a really important question that we have to consider. Resilience will be even more important in the future when we consider climate change, when we consider to adapt to climate change. But even if we can just consider the economic development, that is quite difficult to propose for the future. Or if we consider the pandemic conditions that we face now. So I think in the rural areas, we have to be more resilient in different perspectives. And it's super important. And I think, that's the reason why they have taken it as one of the four most important things. And I only can say we have to stay positive and open-minded and try to come to a status where we are resilient to climate change, where we adapt to climate change, but also to the environment, and most importantly, for the society.
Thanks, Alfred. And then perhaps we move to Lapland. Janne, so you are herding reindeers there in the very fragile Arctic nature. So thoughts about the resiliency and how do you see it concerning your business in the future?
Yeah, this resilient element is really important. As we all know, then reindeer is the Arctic animal, and if the climate change is raising the temperature in Lapland, then of course in the end the reindeer will vanish in this area. But then so we have to try to preserve our nature and try to make it better, so then we can respond better to the
when we are looking for the year 2040, so do you think that will be the threat in that scale as well already?
Yeah, 2040 it will be also threat already. It's because we already see the climate change, how it happens.
Yeah, so you have to be very, very, very concerned about what happens with the climate change. And then the Joe, so you highlighted a lot about just a second, so I will I will mute. Yes, okay, good. So and now I muted one person. So then back to Joe. So thoughts about the resiliency, and you highlight in your video a lot about digitalization. So is it connected with the resilience? What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think it is connected with resilience, because you need data, whether it's on the climate, whether it's satellites, what way the weather maps are moving. And I think research is probably connected to digitalization. And we're very lucky here in Ireland. We probably have the world's leading grass-based dairy research centre in Moorpark in County Cork. And there's a lot of research done on even methane production, connected with the University College in Dublin. And our academia in Ireland are probably at the coal face in connection with the American tech companies in dealing with even just the monitoring of cows' health. So the digitalization and the climate change piece is really connected, in that you're getting a more efficient farming system through data and through using that data. And I suppose whatever data goes into it, if it's of high quality, we're at a place there where we can make decisions to have an efficient system to be able to adapt to a change in climate. Where in Ireland, our issue is rain. We have a lot of rain. It's our greatest asset, but it is also our greatest threat. So there's parts of Ireland that are so wet that it's very hard to have cows grazing grass. And we just have to know what the best systems are for those areas. While I believe in free market and people using their land as they will, we still have to have the best systems for those areas. And digitization and research go hand in hand in that area, Joa.
Thanks, Joe. And now back to Helena. So
yes, excited thoughts, and this conversation could be lasting long and long, but time flies. So one more question to each of you. What would be your key message with one sentence to the policymakers or peer entrepreneurs? What would be the most important thing to do to reach the desired future for 2040? Maybe Joe, you would like to continue.
Well, I'll try to keep it to one sentence, but it'll be a long sentence. So I suppose I come from a political background. I'm from a political family in Ireland. So one side of our family is in politics and one side is in farming. But I have always seen that where politics intersects too much into agriculture or into business, and we are business people as well as custodians of the environment, that it can often do more harm. So in the words of the 29th president of the US, he said, business functions best when there's less government in business and more business in government. We need to attract the right people into policy making who have backgrounds in agriculture, in business, in rural life and SMEs. We're getting too many people in policy from just academia and just, I suppose, you know, maybe just research, maybe just academia side of it. We need to have better diversity. And if we've more of that in policy making, we'll be at a good place to make really good decisions for the future of our important EU union and our bloc, because we have so much in common and our problems are common problems. So it's great having this forum to address that.
Thank you, Joe. What about Alfred?
Turn challenges into opportunities and bring everyone on board. That's my one sentence.
That was exactly one sentence. Thank you. You can crystallize. What about Janne, the northernmost representative of today from Sodankylä?
For the policymakers, I would like to say that they should save our pasture, that we can continue reindeer herding for decades on.
Well, that's concrete. So thank you for that, and thank you, and virtual applause to all of our excellent entrepreneurs representing 6 or 5 different countries of Europe, and really eye-opening talks of the rural future 2040.
Indeed, Helena. And I have a task for these excellent farmers. You have to visit each other. So that's your task, because I think that, you know, what an excellent farms and what the excellent vines you have there. So visit each other. So make a round trip around Europe, and that would be excellent networking. And also you promote your visit. So I think that would be excellent.
Next project item.
Yeah.
Perfect. And thank you, Juha-Matti, for co-hosting.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.